Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a Empties video for you guys, and some of these products I have been saving for a really long time. Some of them are sort of new additions to it, but I am going to kind of just jump in and talk about things. There's some things in here that you guys might have seen in my previous Empties and some things that are new. But yeah, so I'm just going to get started. The first thing I see is nail polish remover. I use the strengthening kind because my nails can be very weak, and I find that this is just the Target brand, but I find that strengthening ones in general don't do as much damage to my nails when I'm taking off nail polish, and I don't feel like everything around my nail is so super dry after I use this. So really simple, easy. The next thing I have is the Scandinavia, the makeup finishing spray in Bridal, and this stuff is amazing. This is 8 fluid ounces, and Scandinavia makes the Urban Decay all-nighter. You'll see if you ever look at the back of this, it says all-nighter, or it says Urban Decay by Scandinavia. So the reason I have these is because one of the beauty sets that Sephora was running had 2 of these for the same price as one of these, which they're, you know, this is 4 ounces, this is 8 ounces, so it was the same thing. But generally these big ones are $10 more expensive than the 4 ounce ones by Urban Decay, and you get double the product in here, and this is better in my opinion. I have gone through quite a few of these in my lifetime of using makeup, but this is the one that's in my Empties. I think I've thrown the rest of the way, but I recommend this one all the time. I think this one is amazing if you like using a setting spray that actually like prolongs your makeup wear. I find that this does that. I wish that I could find like a comfortable setting spray that prevented transfer, because that's my biggest problem. But in terms of making your makeup last throughout an entire day and still look nice after 8 hours or whatever, this is great. Bridal makeup I've done for other people, I have used this and known that like no matter what, their makeup was going to be okay by the end of the night, unless they were just like sobbing uncontrollably the whole time. I can't help you there, but this stuff is amazing. And you know, price per ounce, completely 100% totally worth it to get. And they're often on sale so that one of these is the same price as one of the 4 ounce ones. So the next thing I want to talk about is the Josie Maran Argan Daily Moisturizer SPF 47. I really like this. This is one of the only sunscreens that I can use that doesn't cause me to break out. I just find it's kind of expensive for what it is. And the one thing that I really don't like about it is I have to mix this with my facial lotion, because otherwise it's really sticky, and I hate trying to rub it into my skin and feeling like I'm just pulling on my skin the whole time because it's so sticky. But I don't know, again, if it doesn't make me break out, like that's just a huge plus in my book. So I have 3 of the Belief the True Cream moisturizing balms. This is hands down my favorite moisturizer ever of all time. It is just so good, and I have combo oily skin. This is technically for dry skin. I use this at night, and I wake up and my skin just feels so nice and plump and hydrated. Like, I have oily but dehydrated skin, and that's because I don't drink enough water. It's a terrible thing. I'm a terrible person. I know I should do that better, but I don't. But this makes my skin look like I do. So it really enables me to continue to not drink as much water as I should. But it's just like the first time I put it on my skin, I actually had, which I think I've spoken about this before, but I had windburn and sunburn on my skin, and I used this for like a week, and I was just like completely blown away by what an amazing job it did, really helping calm down my skin and really hydrating it. I didn't have a ton of peeling like I normally would have with windburn and sunburn. I think it was sunburn. No, it wasn't sunburn. It was in the winter, and I had windburn from it being so cold, which is something that happens to me a lot. I live near Chicago, so our winters are basically terrible. But this was one of those things that I had these spots on my face of like super crazy dry skin, and this like helped clear it up in like a week, which normally would have taken like a month with my other skincare, because I generally use skincare for combo oily skin, but this has just been like the best. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, wait, yeah, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mascaras here. Some of them are the same and some of them are different. I am forever on the hunt for a waterproof mascara that won't leave marks on my skin, which like whenever you hear people talk about like, hey, mascara is always like getting on my skin, what do? They say, hey, use a waterproof mascara, that'll stop happening, and it doesn't for me. I curl my lashes, and sometimes because my eyes are so hooded and deep set, my lashes will touch the skin on my upper eyelid, and it's every day. No matter what I use, there's mascara all over my skin. And I wish that I could figure out how to make that stop happening, but I can't. I've tried different primers, different mascaras, obviously, and they all do it. And if you guys have a suggestion, if you have the same problem as me and you figure that out, like, please let me know, because I'd love to stop buying a million mascaras. But for me, mascara is something that is not worth it for me to buy high end because the formula-wise, besides that problem, like, these all do a great job. And it's also not something that's worth it for me to like try to mix or whatever to make it last longer once it's dried out. So these I use for the recommended 3 to 6 months or whatever before I throw them away. Some of these have been opened and then not used for 3 months or whatever, and I throw them away because it's not worth it to like get an infection in my eye. Heating up your mascara or putting things inside your mascara is just a recipe for disaster. Please don't do it. It's terrible. I don't care what the internet bloggers will tell you. Science will tell you that when you heat up a product, it increases the level of bacteria inside until you heat it up to boiling or whatever, over 140 degrees, which isn't boiling, but until you heat it up to a point that it kills the bacteria, which you're not doing if you're putting the whole tube in a cup of hot water. You're just heating it up to this really nice, comfortable level that bacteria love to multiply in. And if you're putting stuff inside your mascara, it's doing the same kind of thing. You're putting water in there that isn't supposed to be in there, and water plus stuff like this just equals bacteria growth. Please stop doing it. Please just buy another mascara. Your eyes will thank you. And it's one of those things that people will like say, oh no, it's fine, oh no, it's fine, until it happens to them. And I'd rather it just not happen to you. You can get really good mascara for really cheap, and it's not worth it to risk your eyes. Promise. So I know this seems like an excessive amount of mascaras, but again, searching for my holy grail, which I think everybody is at all times, always, but I also don't keep them longer than I'm supposed to. And I know that like you looked at that and you probably thought I was going to tell you reviews of all the mascaras and you know how I thought they did, but I find that mascaras are super individual, and like I have watched people apply mascara to their lashes and it looked like the most amazing thing I've ever seen, then bought that mascara and it been the worst. So it's like nothing I can tell you about these maybe will even work for you. So I try not to review mascaras for that reason, because it's super individual. Even if people are looking for the same things and feel like they have the same kind of eyelashes or whatever, it doesn't always work that way. So I'm not going to. I have a couple different concealers. This first one I'm going to talk about is the Maybelline Dream Lumi Touche Camouflante Luminex, and it's a luminizing pink concealer. I didn't really like it. This actually I threw away because it's old. I had never finished the whole thing, and if you looked inside of it you'd be like disgusted because it's all dried up and gross inside the tube, but it was one of those things that like I just threw in my drawer and left there for 3 years. So the second one I used to death, and it's the L'Oreal True Match. This one is in N123, and I liked this for both under the eye and on the face, and it was a nice color that was close enough to my skin tone that if I didn't want a super brightening under eye, this was great, and if I wanted to cover up acne, this was great as well. And then I have the Urban Decay Naked Skin. This one's in Fair Neutral. This one is too light for me most of the time. I really do like the light one, even though that one's like almost too dark for me now. I need to mix these two, fair and light, to get a good color. There's a really significant color jump between fair and light, which might not look like it on camera, but on the skin it's like, whoa. So I can't really use this one. I used to be able to use this one in the summer as like, if I didn't want to put foundation on, I could just put this where I needed it and blend it out and be fine. It's too dark for that now, and this is too light for that. So again, I have to mix them, but it's a great formula. Everybody raves on about this for good reason, because it is awesome. And then of course I have 2 of the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealers. These are both in vanilla, and I love this. they just run out so fast. I swear I go through this like once a month, and for me, this is too expensive for that. So I've been on the hunt for other concealers to use, and I have found a couple. They're just not empty yet. And then I do have a couple foundations to talk about. This is the same kind of thing where some of them are just old and I needed to get rid of them, and some of them I used all the way up. I find it kind of hard to use foundations all the way through because I'm always testing different ones, and I mix my foundations a lot, so it really helps to make them last longer. But one of the ones that I did use completely is this Josie Marin Vibrancy foundation, and that's mostly because it's just a deluxe sample size. I really did like this. In the summer, it was nice in the beginning of summer, but in the like middle and end of the summer, it was too dewy for my skin. I think it would be great during the winter too. I just haven't used it yet. I do have a couple other deluxe sample size of these, which I need to pull out again, but I did like this. I think this is one of those like love it or hate it, no in between ones, but I really liked it. This one I talked about in my drugstore foundations that I really liked, and it's the Bourjois, I believe, I should have, I'm almost positive I did, but it's the Bourjois Healthy Mix Radiance Reveal Foundation. It's not the serum one, it's the regular one. And this one I got because of Kathleen Lights when I first started watching her, which was like 3 years ago. And I need to throw it away. Like there's still stuff in here, but it needs to go. It needs to go. But I did like it a lot. I do have to get it on Amazon because they only have it in other countries that are not my country. So I do have to order it, and it takes forever to get to me, but I did like it. I do need to order it again because I haven't used it in a long time, but I like the way it smelled because it smells like fruit and not regular foundation, but this is a good one. The serum one is more if you have dry skin, and this is supposed to be for like combo or normal, regular, oily skin, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I liked it. The next one I want to talk about is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Cushion in shade N2. And this one is nice. I really liked it. It was great for an everyday, really light foundation. I could refill this package and make another cushion foundation. I just haven't. And if I'm being really honest with myself, I won't. The one thing I really didn't like about it is it's half an ounce, so it's a whole half an ounce less than you normally get. So you go through it really fast and it dries out easily. So that's the one thing I don't like about cushion foundations in general, but I really like the formula of this. And I had to set it because I'm combo skinned, but I think otherwise, if you are dry skin, you could use this without setting it. It's just a really nice finish. I do wish the shade range was bigger, but other than that, I did like it. And this next one is another that I have since repurchased, and it was one of the first like foundations that I ever bought that was high-end, and it's the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Plus. And I got this, I want to say like when it first came out, because I remember it like blew up on YouTube for a while, and that was when I bought it. And this is one of those that like the shade is just too dark for me in the winter, so I can only really use it in the summer. But at the same time, it's a little bit too dewy for me during really hot days in the summer, so I have like a limited range of when I can wear it comfortably. I do love though to mix it with more matte foundations to make a like natural finish foundation. So that's what I often do throughout the rest of the year. But again, this is one of those that I just need to get rid of because it was old. But you get 1.08 fluid ounce, which is a little bit more than you would normally get in a regular foundation. And again, since I mostly mix it with other ones, I'm not using as much as I would if I was using it on its own. So it lasts forever. But yeah, I really did like that one. Again, this one is because I just had it forever and needed to throw away. It's another one that I did talk about in my drugstore foundation things that I really liked, and it's the Rimmel Lasting Finish 25 Hour with Comfort Serum foundation. And I wish that it came in a pump still, and I wish it wasn't in a glass container, but I did really like the way this wore. I really liked that it was matte without feeling like it was just sucking everything out of my face, and I don't know, I just liked it a lot, and I think it's a really great option for the drugstore. And I haven't picked it up yet, but I need to, and I will. The next thing was the first foundation that I ever bought for myself in the drugstore, because before I started watching YouTube, I didn't wear foundation because like growing up, nobody taught me how to wear makeup. And even though I had an older sister and my mom, neither of them really taught me how to wear makeup. And I used to just go into my sister's room and steal hers, basically, and use her foundation. And nobody taught me that there was like different formulas and different undertones and different things like that. So I hated it. Like, I used hers and I hated the way it looked on me. I hated like everything about it. So it wasn't until I was much too old to really know anything about makeup that I bought this. And I got this on Jaclyn Hill's recommendation. I actually got the True Match Lumi first and hated every second of it because it was too much. And especially at that time, I was much oilier than I am now and much more like afraid of shine on my face. I've become used to it now. But this was the first foundation that I used and liked. And it's like an old standby that I just love having. And I don't know, it's a good one. I like it. And then to finish this off, this one I used up, which if that tells you anything, it should tell you it's a good one. And it's the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. This was in shade 102. I go between 101 and 102 depending on what time of year it is. But this, I mean, there was months that I went where I was only using this every single day, and I loved it. I love the finish of it. I love mixing it with other foundations. I love mixing it with the It Cosmetics one. If I'm ever like, well crap, what do I mix? You know, if like there's a foundation that's too dewy or doesn't have enough coverage or whatever, and I'm like, well shit, what do I mix with it? It's like, oh yeah, this one, because it's amazing. So yeah, there's that. Since this video is getting crazy long, I'm only gonna talk about 3 more things. The first thing I'm gonna talk about is the Thrive Cosmetics Lash Glue. This stuff beats every other lash glue on the market. Better than House of Lashes, better than Duo, better than everything. This stuff is amazing. And like I use this and I have never and will never go back. I have 2 spares in my drawer plus the one I'm using now and this one. So I have just been really loving this. It is the best. Like, it keeps my lashes on really nicely. It dries quickly, and it's one of those that starts out like a white opaque color and turns like greenish bluish when it's drying, and then it dries clear. I love it. It never lets me down. It's always amazing. It is latex free and free of sulfates and parabens, but like I used to think the House of Lashes lash glue was like the end all be all of lash glue, and this just is so much better to me. It doesn't goop up around the cap the way the House of Lashes one does, which if you use that one, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I hated that, and this doesn't do that for me. It's one that I can use like all the way to the end without it getting like super disgusting and like unusable when it's still halfway full like the House of Lashes one did. So yeah, I love that. And I also love that this company, when you buy stuff, they match that product and they give it to a woman battling cancer. So someone who's been through chemo and doesn't have eyelashes anymore, doesn't have eyebrows anymore. They have eyebrow and eyelash, well, they have eyebrow products and eyelashes and the lash glue, and I just think that's awesome. And I don't want to say that even if it sucked I'd still do it for that reason, because I wouldn't, but like I will continue to purchase this even though it's more expensive than other lash glues for that reason. I think that completely justifies the price for me, and the product itself is just amazing. So the next thing I want to talk about is like the literal only ever liquid eyeliner that has ever worked for me for any period of time, and that is the Jessie's Girl liquid eyeliner. And this is another Kathleen Lights recommendation. I have super oily eyelids and super watery eyes, so basically any waterproof liner I use lasts an hour-ish, if that, in some of them. Like Kat Von D, Stila, those last like 15 minutes on my eyes before they're, you know, everywhere. This one I can get through a work day and just start to see wear. So this has just been like crazy, awesome, amazing for me. I can't recommend it highly enough, and it's inexpensive. So the only thing that sucks for me is I have to get it online. I can't get it anywhere in store around me. I think there are some places that, like in California, where you can get it in store, but I don't live in California, so I can't do that. But it's just great. If you are like me and have those same problems, try this one out. There are people who swear by like every eyeliner ever and say that they have the same problems I do, and that one works great for them and it doesn't work for me. So if you've been finding that where like all the regular ones that people recommend don't work for you, check this one out. The last thing I want to talk about is the Bite Beauty Agave Lip Mask. I think this is the second one I've gone through. It is amazing. Single-handedly completely responsible for the health of my lips. This tube lasts me roughly a year. I use it during the day. What I'll do is I will put a little bit on in the morning when I'm getting ready. Generally, I don't put on a lip color until after lunch just because I normally can't be bothered. So for me, that works out because I can leave this on my lips for a super long time before anything interferes with it. For me, this stuff lasts through like eating for the most part. Usually if I'm eating something like lunch, it'll wear off around the inside, but there's still enough on the outside that I can like rub my lips together and it's still there. But I just love this. I don't love wearing it at night, but that's because I have this weird texture thing where I don't like to have like a thick product on my lips because I feel like then I'm getting it on my pillowcase and then rubbing it all over my face. I don't know, I'm really weird, but I really love using this during the day. I have one sitting up here. This is the rose one, I think, or champagne one. So it's got a little bit of a tint to it, which I don't really care for, but every time I go for the clear one, it's sold out. So I just have that one for now, and I'm just going through it, and it's taking forever because you only need a little bit, but it's just awesome and I love it. If you have chapped lips, totally try it. It's worth the money. I think it's like 26 bucks for that, which seems outrageous, and it sort of is, but at the same time, it's so worth it. It lasts for so long and it's just great. So it's definitely something that I would totally recommend if you have dry lips all the time. Try that out. It's awesome. And that's it. I still have other things in here, but this video is forever long. If you've tried any of the things I have here and you have a review of your own, I would love to hear it. Other than that, I hope you guys are having a great day wherever you're at. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe if you haven't already. If you have, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.